John, neither Andrew nor I are hearing sound from your Twitch stream right now. We can hear the Discord beeps, but that's about it. Okay, never mind. I can hear myself on the Twitch stream. I can't hear you.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, it seems to be working now.
Well, yeah, we can't hear John on the Twitch stream right now.
Test, 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 testy, test, test. Give it a second to lag delay.
Am I? Fine.
I heard you talk about tests.
Cool. Okay, so let me reiterate. After they completed defeating the weird demon outside of the strange old fort where the orc made his pies, you got back onto the boat and continued along the rails. The area that you're in is kind of a strange region in that there's no real one kingdom. It's a grouping of kingdoms known as the Free Kingdoms. There's another long bit of words there describing what they're called, but you guys aren't terribly concerned with that bit. You guys continue on to the city to the east on the coast, and as you're about to kind of get towards the city where the riverway turns into a channelway, the boat breaks off of its rails and kind of just coasts off to the shore and crashes. Not too far from there is... Describe your character, Andy.
Yeah, a small goblin with a shield made of a cast iron skillet. He has a battle axe. Not very smart. His name is Sparkle.
Okay, well, I mean, he doesn't. You see that he's wearing kind of a name tag. His handwriting is a bit of a scribble scrabble, and he's just kind of standing off to the side, not too far where your crash happens. And the crash is so powerful it actually knocks the druid and the turtle riding man away. The turtle doesn't seem to notice that the boat has stopped and it just continues on, with the old man sleeping on it. And the druid kind of hits the water and kind of just continues being flushed down the water away from you. More than like
the wizard.
Was he a wizard?
He was a wizard.
Did I say druid? I meant wizard.
He did.
Anywho, it's because he's really green. My brain hurts. The wizard goes coasting off on the river. If he was a druid, he could just turn
money.
He could have just turned into an animal and swam back to you, but he's not. So ha 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 ha, it works.
I cannot believe it. He owed me money. Both of them did. You, small green man, go swim and get them. I need my money back.
I don't think so.
I can't deal with this. You talk to him, Kung Fu.
No.
As you're kind of staring there, like in the boat, the wreckage of the boat, kind of looking at him, you do notice that you still have the bag of holding filled with lanterns. But yeah, besides that, not really anything else was left by the two that fell off. And just as a kind of note, it's not terribly important, but I'm going to throw it out there. Maybe it will be. But the name of the grouping of kingdoms is the Free United Coastal Kingdoms.
Okay.
So what you are saying is words.
Yes. Words.
I'm glad
Generally mean things.
the English professor got the joke, but
He did. But Sparkle did not. Too many. He would just think about the first letters of the words.
okay. So yeah, this is your meeting.
Sparkle would climb aboard the wreckage of the ship and start sort of rummaging through it for anything of interest.
There's a fighter. She kind of has. Go ahead and describe your character if you'd like.
She's... Was it Janasazi? She's Earth's
Genasi.
character. Huh?
Ganassi.
Genasi.
Oh, okay, Ganassi. Sorry. Still new to this.
It's alright.
Forget how tall she was.
Tallish.
Yeah, tallish. She's got shield and armor. Where is that thing that she's got? I have a battle axe.
A really cool shield.
Yes, very cool shield. Because it turns into a raft.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. That's
Sparkle
all.
would walk up to her and say, I have a battle axe too, and start climbing up her to look around.
Okay. You can see from that higher vantage point that there is also a bag in the in there. It looks like just hanging out of the mouth of the bag looks like a small wire handle.
Sparkle would reach for that and pull it.
So as you reach for it, you forget how like distance works, and you fall off of the fighter and hit the wreckage of the boat. Water
Okay.
starts to kind of seep in, and strangely enough, the bag starts to actually float. And you manage to grab a hold of it, but you grab it by the wire handle. So you pull the content out, which is a lantern, hooded lantern, and the bag continues sailing off.
I would like to go for the bag,
Okay.
if I could.
You jump into the water and start swimming out there. Your hair, just fur, getting all wet. Just feeling.
Right.
I'll go ahead and let's see. So even still, like even though you're like, oh, you understand the importance of the bag, you manage to get out to it and grab a hold of it, and kind of just reel it back in as you kind of caddy paddle onto the shore.
That was the worst experience of my life.
Oh, look, shiny.
And
No, it does not hold any shiny value for me anymore.
you're,
Oh.
he
It's ruined.
just
I
drops.
dropped the
He
bag.
just drops the bag. Yeah,
Sparkle will pick up the bag.
you have the bag. It weighs a little bit. Not.
Can I climb into it and look around?
You open up the bag and you look inside. It's just complete like darkness. It's darker than a bag should be. You still climb in?
Can I put my arm in?
Yeah.
Sort of feel around in there up to the elbow, shoulder.
You feel like there's something strange about the bag in that you put your hand in and it goes in further than your hand should go. In fact, you feel like
It's
you're
a
putting your
strange
hand
bag.
into the earth at one point.
Since he's not finding anything, I'll just pull his arm out and maybe
Okay.
rumple up the bag.
Oh, are you
Take it with-
Are you trying to grab something specifically?
Not really. I just whatever's in there. I mean,
Oh.
he wants stuff.
Okay, so if your intent was to grab something, you feel another wire handle and you pull out another lantern.
Offer one to Kung Fu Lantern.
Sure.
Oh, it's the middle of the day, by the way.
Lantern.
Sure. You can,
Making friends.
there you go.
I would like
You
to
know,
ask,
since you were on my head, why
I
not?
have been bored of the bag now, so is there anything else possibly that is shiny around on this beach?
No, but I'd say about maybe 400, 500 feet away, you do see the outer, properties along the coast there, along the riverway, rather, of a large city. And do you remember having been here in the city? You kind of just start scrolling through your notes, and you see that you remember the name of the city is Robertsport.
I see. I will start going towards this Robertsport.
Okay.
Hopefully I will be able to find their leader, obviously named Robert, or Port, or Steve. I don't know.
Okay. As you're kind of walking away, the goblin's kind of, reaching out to you with the lantern.
I will find Robert's ports. He says, sort of in imitation, and walks behind him.
Matt's face. Good times.
Little.
Oh, come on. So she's trying to walk like him too, a little bit.
Yeah, so,
I'd like to say my tail is swinging back and forth, so depending on how close you are to me.
So she's pushing it away with his hand.
You manage to, as he's trying to kind of defend against it, you manage to get a solid, just end of the tail smack across the chin on the goblin.
I'm gonna walk a bit farther behind them.
Okay. Not paying attention to the shenanigans, you do notice that a ways off, not in the direction of the town, kind of like 100 or so feet away from the the river's coast, you do see that there is a roadway, and it looks like it's pretty heavily trafficked. You do see that there's a couple of guards who are kind of looking over at you, wearing these fine orange tabards, and they have a strange symbol that appears to be a crescent, a half crescent, and above the half crescent there are 2 stars, side by side.
Can I run up to them and ask where's Pie?
You walk up to them and you say, "Where's Pie?" And they say, "Oh, well, I don't know. You could probably buy some pie in Robertsport."
Is it goblin pie?
Goblin pie? No.
Sparkle looks horrified. Wait, what? What kind of pie? Is it really goblin pie?
Made by goblins. Goblins make pie.
Oh, no.
Make goblin pie.
No, not goblin pie.
Yep. Goblin pie.
So, no, sorry. Good luck.
No pie?
Are there any shiny things in the city?
Yeah, probably. Lots of stuff travels around here. Of the free United Coastal Kingdoms, Robertsport is one of the strongest. The ruler, Robert of the Veltlands, he's quite important, but he does a lot of trade with the other dragon lords of the kingdoms.
You lost me after you said the word yes, but that answered my question, so...
Yeah, you sat there like the whole time just slowly drawing the word yes in your book. They nod their heads. All right. You guys head into the... Go ahead.
Pie. No, I just pie.
Okay.
Need pie. Must find pie. Pie.
You head into the town along the riverway, and not too far ahead of you, the road kind of changes from kind of just like a coastal small path to lined and worked stone, brick and such. And it kind of elevates up to a higher point. You see up ahead alongside the river there are small docks that have been built in along this pathway, and not too far from where you kind of enter into the city, you can see that there are a couple of these small boats that are parked along. There seems to be a large fire burning on the two, and there appear to be quite a few people gathered around, and some of them are actually closer to the fire and appear to be trying to reach down into the waterway and throw buckets of water onto the boats with not too much effect. What do you do?
I go and try to steal one of the spare buckets because they are shiny.
Okay. Yeah, they are tin buckets. You run over there, and you sneak over, and they seem to be really focused. And one of them reaches down to grab the bucket and kind of fill it with water to pass it along. Reaches down, grab the bucket, pass it to. Reaches down, grabs nothing, and then kind of freaks out. What? And then you're just kind of a good 10 feet or so away now, with this bucket in your hands, slightly filled with water. It doesn't look like whoever filled it very promptly.
I think we should help them. Maybe they'll give us pie.
Well, hold on. While that's happening, the fire's still going quite heavily. You kind of are looking at the fire, thinking we should help them. What would you like to do?
Help them.
Okay, you kind of step into line and offer to start moving buckets, joining the line. It makes many hands make light work, but you kind of feel this strange pang or cramp in your muscles as you're kind of moving the buckets, and you seem to be kind of wobbling a bit in this process as they start handing heavier buckets, and a bit of water starts spilling out, a bit more water than you like. So it seems to be taking a little bit longer now with you in the line than it would have probably without you in it. And then what are you doing, Sparkle?
I'd want to grab the bucket that... what is your character's name, Matt?
Plays with mice.
Plays with mice. Took and bring it over to the person in charge.
Okay, well he's currently holding it.
Yeah, and I have my paw in, and I'm just really with the water.
That really good stealth check that you had. They kind of look over at you, just briefly, but they seem to be focused on the matter at hand. The goblin walks over and kind of you can feel these you kind of hear these fingers like tapping against the bottom of the bucket. And
He wants the bucket, yeah.
it makes the water move, which makes you even more. But yeah, the goblin's like trying to reach up and grab it, and it doesn't seem to be working at first. Then when you kind of like splash, 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 the handle kind of wobbles down just within reach of your goblin fingers. You reach up and grab the handle, pull it down. The water inside does not shoot up. You do it nimbly enough that you have it in hand, and you're able to walk with a bucket full of water back over to the people who you are you say they're the interested parties, the people
Sure.
who want the buckets. You are bucketless, and your bucket is now being taken away by a goblin.
That is okay. I was done with the bucket.
All right. After a short effort, the two boats, the fire is extinguished. It would have been, shorter still had there not been theft of buckets or assistance. But yeah, there's a guardsman, what looks like a courtly gentleman, kind of wearing these just gaudy-looking, bright-colored sashes and garments, and a couple of townsfolk. What would you like to do?
Gaudy, definitely go towards the gaudy.
Okay. And while he's doing that, what is Kung Fu doing?
Watching to see if Plays with Mice goes for the Gaudy too.
Okay. And then Plays with Mice does...
What do you think Plays with Mice does?
Goes for the gaudy-looking guy.
Well, does he have bubbles on him?
Yeah, but there's definitely baubles, and he's got scarves that are kind of hanging low.
I would like to go over and play with the bubbles.
Okay. So the goblin kind of approaches, and the guy kind of looks down at you and goes, what are you... Did you do this? And points at you.
Do what?
The guard kind of looks over at you. Goblin? What's a goblin doing in town? What are you doing here, little fella?
I put out that fire.
Oh. What? They kind of look at each other. The townsfolk kind of look at each other. And then one of them goes, "Oh, he helped." Oh. Alright. Well, thanks, little guy.
Anything for sale?
I would like to stealthily approach the man with the bubbles and start batting them.
You're already, like, you can see behind him that, behind the merchant that Plays with Mice is indeed just kind of swatting at the baubles and scarves of this gentleman. But as you ask that question, his mouth just drops, and he kind of looks back at the burnt boats, and then looks to you and goes, "No." Like,
What? But why?
the merchant turns away from you and goes over to his boats, and kind of pulls them in a bit and kind of just gets onto the boat or down near the boat and starts kind of sifting through the ashes. Looks like the boat's taken on a bit of water, and from what you can tell, like, the canal seems to be like a lower draft closer to shore, and it seems to kind of sunk to the bottom, but it's still above water because of its height.
Sparkle whispers, "Jeff, pie."
He doesn't seem to hear you. The guard kind of looks at you and says,
My friend wants pie.
Pie?
the guard looks at you and
Like your
says,
pie.
thanks, little guy, but if you are interested in whatever you're seeking, pie or whatever, then you should probably just head on into town. The market area is probably best for you.
Pie.
Yes, I would like to go to the marketplace. That is usually where there are things.
Anything.
They-
Pie dim.
They kind of gesture in that direction. A couple of the town's guard are looking at you strange lot, confused.
That happens a lot.
I would like to, just as we're walking past one of them, possibly bat the shield.
Which shield?
One of the guard shields.
Okay. Yeah, do you smack it? It kind of pings with, irony sound. As you guys are making your way to the market district, it's a lot more populated. There's a lot more people kind of moving here and there, and you're kind of making your way to the stalls and stands. The people are of all different varieties, but are mainly humanoid, or human rather. Humanoid, I'm a dummy. You do see a lot of halflings and gnomes as well. Not so many goblins. You do see one or two tabaxi on occasion. Yeah, and you do notice, Matt, do notice that a young man, or possibly a tall halfling, kind of bumps into you, and you very quickly realize that he has basically just filched your book off of you.
Oh.
I would like to filch the book back.
Okay. You grab him on the waist at his belt instead of like where he kind of put the book, stashed it, and you pants him. Everyone starts freaking out, like confused. He reaches down, grabs his bag, and hops out of his slacks, out of his pants, and just starts running.
I give chase.
Okay. You guys see this effect, in effect happen. Kung Fu chasing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And also Sparkle.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
You see those two dart off after
I'm a goblin.
the guy. While giving chase, do you use any of your Tabaxi cool features?
Yeah, sure. I might as well at least try to use some of the.
Okay, so you're definitely gaining on him very quickly. He makes his way around a corner to an alleyway, and you see up ahead there is kind of like a sewer pipe that's kind of set into a wall. It's probably about halfling size, like 3 or 4 feet tall, in diameter rather, and it has like a grill on it. And he kind of runs out to it, and just as he's about to kind of get to the grill, you're able to put hands on him if you want.
Hello, my name is Plays with Mice, and I would like my book back.
So you are going to try and grapple him?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you grab a hold of him, and he is unable to wrest himself free from your cat claws, and you pull him back and say hello, as you said. He kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, here, take it." And having him this close, you realize he's not a child. He is, in fact, a halfling. He kind of tosses the book up to you and kind of, if he's still held, will kind of, shudder a bit. If you drop him to the ground, he'll just kind of, cower.
I will hold on to him for a second and just put the book into my bag and say, "Why is it you took my book?"
She told me to come out and get all of the things I could.
Who's she?
Oh, you don't know. I can't tell you.
Could you write it down?
No, I couldn't.
You do not know how to write? That is sad.
Well,
I know how to write.
Speaking can be telling, but writing can be telling too.
Okay, I will make you a deal. You will tell me what it is that I am asking you, and I will not cut your face with my claws.
She would do worse.
And I just put my claw on his.
Okay. As you kind of set your claw to him, you become very quickly distracted by the fact that there's just this weird kind of just near the grate, away from him, this really shiny looking silver button. It looks like a coin has been kind of set into the pipe itself.
I am no longer interested in the halfling. I want that button.
Okay. Do you try and grab the button, or do you try and press the button?
I try to grab the button.
Okay. Just as you're going to grab the button, Kung Fu is kind of making her way up behind you. And you see the what's happening here. You grab a hold of the button on its edges with your claws, trying to pull it away. It doesn't seem to be coming free. It seems to be built in there. The boy's kind of looking at you, and not seeing. not seeing Kung Fu behind, darts out from beneath your legs, kind of starts running out of the alleyway. Kung Fu, if you'd like, you can try and stop the boy, or no?
Sure.
Okay.
See what happens.
Yeah, you snatch the boy up and kind of grab a hold of him, pulling him back. He doesn't let out a cry or anything. He just kind of... Argh! You see the tabaxi properly distracted by a button.
This button.
Right.
This.
Plays with mice. Boy. Or halfling. Talk to him.
Kind of holding him by his shoulders so his hands are pressed against his body. You kind of walk over with him like... Meanwhile, out in the
Back on the farm.
out in the thoroughfare, you are kind of like you see them where they go. It's not too hard to follow up as to where they went. What would you like to do?
I typed it in.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. Okay. You managed to find a pie. You're not sure if it's one that she'd like, but there's a vendor who's selling some. You have three options: either an apple pie, a pecan pie, or it looks like some
Goblin
sort
pie.
of marmalade kind of jellied pie.
We'll go with the jelly pie.
Okay.
That's strange.
All right, you buy it. It costs you a silver, and
Okay.
you head over to the alleyway.
And and I pick up, looking for any mice I could find along the way.
Okay, just kind of scanning around. You don't really see any,
Okay.
but you spend a bit of time out there. So, you have the halfling in hand, and are kind of moving over to Plays with Mice. What are you doing before she gives you the halfling?
Are you talking to Matt now?
Yeah, sorry.
Plays with mice, but he's getting frustrated with the button, so he will probably turn around and just back up against the wall where the button is.
Okay. The second you do, the metal grate, the spokes of it just drop into the ground like with a sound, opening the pipeway to you. The boy at this point tries
I think
to
there's a snake around here.
wrestle himself free, and you feel him kind of like wiggle, trying to snap free from you, and you just squeeze like a vice, and he kind of as you hold him in midair.
Did you hear that hissing noise? I think there's a snake around.
As that's happening, this goblin with a pie over his head kind of wanders into the alleyway.
Yeah. So the pie has like a goblin fist-size hole in it, and there's pie all over Sparkle's face. But he hands the pie to Kung Fu with a big pie face-covered smile. He hands it to her, and then kind of starts rubbing his dirty hand on. Runs with what is your name, Matt?
She
on his leg.
She kind of turns to you, and she's holding a halfling boy. So, do you relinquish the kid, or do you wait? Rebecca, do you drop?
I can offer the pie. I can offer the pie to the halfling.
You can
No,
also.
my pie.
Do you drop the halfling?
Yes.
Okay. The second he hits the ground, he starts bolting like right past Plays with Mice. Do you try and do anything?
I throw my shield at it.
Okay.
I'm eating pie.
Hold on.
I'm trying to find where the snake is.
He hands you the pie, and then he kind of just quickly pulls the skillet off of his back and throws it like that. It goes handle over end, like, and you hear it kind of go into the darkness. It hits something, and you hear a "ah!" and then a cling, 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 cling.
It comes back into his hand.
No, only if it misses.
Only if you miss.
Only if I miss. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd want to go over and retrieve my skillet.
Okay, you can see in the dark just fine. You realize that the pipe kind of goes on for some distance, some 20 or 30 feet, and at the end of it, it appears to have kind of a raised level that looks like it has metal bars that are bent over and down into this raised panel. You presume it's like a hole in the ground with a ladder kind of descending into it.
Pie.
So
I also will follow the sound of the noise of the
the
clanging of
halfling
thing.
somehow got down that hole, and the
Oh no
the
no no no
skillet
no!
went.
The boy's somewhere near there. Like he didn't
Okay.
he didn't make it all the way. Sorry, I apologize.
Got it.
You were able to pick
No
up
worries.
Okay, now that makes more sense.
your skillet. He kind of made it like 10 feet within 10 feet of it, and he got thumped and he's unconscious.
Okay, so I'd put the skillet back, and I'd drag him by the pant legs over to
Okay.
the others.
As you're doing so, you notice that there's this strange liquid kind of coming out of the top of his head, but you kind of just drag him along.
Yeah, I drag him.
Yep. To those of you who are out in the light, you see him drag out the halfling, and there's a nice stream of blood. Not like horribly like graphic, but a good strip of blood that seems to be coming out of the boy's head.
He looks at the blood, and he looks at the marmalade, and he looks at the blood, and he looks at the marmalade.
Doctor. This is a mouthful, Kung Fu says, like, doctor, gotta get him to doctor.
I would like to check, and I know he no longer has pants, but does he have shiny things on him anywhere else?
He
What?
does. He has a necklace. The necklace has it's kind of like a silver chain, possibly just like a regular kind of just, it looks a bit tarnished, so you're pretty sure it's silver, and it has a key hanging from it.
This is not my shiny thing.
You take the shiny thing from his neck. Do you just pop it off, or do you finally unhinge it? Well, no, I'm saying, like, do you just pop it off because it has like a clasp? Do you just pop it off his neck, or do you like actually focus on the clasp and?
Focus a little bit.
Okay, delicate work, and you pull it off, and you see him kind of just now wearing this tarnished silver necklace with a key on it.
I have always had this necklace. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then do you make your way in as well, Kung Fu, to the pipe? Or no, you guys exited out of the pipe.
Yeah.
Sorry. So
I don't think I'd fit in the pipe.
apologies. After a short amount of time, you hear a scraping sound of metal as the bars raise back up into place.
The snake is back again.
Okay. You have an unconscious, bleeding halfling, a strange key, and a pie, which is now gone. It wasn't. It wasn't as good. It wasn't as good.
But it's still
that was gonna
pie.
be my question. So I have a question. Does like eating other pies make her like need for the pie greater, or is it kind of like it satisfies pie craving for a little while?
I'm trying to think how it will work. I know that the craving will persist. I mean, it's definitely something that will drive your character from here on forward. But I would say that it sates the desire, but like it's just not as good. It's
Okay.
like if you drink like a really expensive, wine, and then kind of start drinking Mad Dog, it's a similar concept.
Okay.
If you're familiar with Mad Dog. If not, like just think of box wine or something like that, something cheap.
I don't drink, so.
Okay, think of something that you do that has like a high end, like top shelf thing, and a bottom end, not so good but slightly
Okay.
satisfying thing, and then
Okay.
that's the equivalent.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I think I got it.
And then what are you doing, Sparkle?
Sparkle would go over and try to understand Plays with Mice. He doesn't understand him.
Okay.
No one understands plays with mice.
When you get to him, you do see that he's really kind of fond of this key that he's wearing around his neck. All of a sudden, you don't remember seeing it, but you may have been there. You're not sure, but there it is.
What's the key for?
It is my shiny.
You like shinies?
Yes.
I like sparkles.
Should we go and find some?
Yes.
And we completely abandoned John's plot.
No, we don't.
Perfectly fine. I don't have one.
Okay, let's go and find shiny, sparkly things.
And pies.
Yes, pie. More
We go
pie.
back
would
to the
be-
marketplace.
Okay. You guys head back to the marketplace. You guys go into the marketplace and start kind of, looking around. They do have lots of, different pies. There are meat pies. There are sweet pies like the one you got. There are strange pies with like this weird red sauce on them.
Like a pizza pie.
Possibly a pizza pie. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of different pies. And then as far as shinies go, there's lots and lots of things. Baubles, bits, strange things that tick, click, all sorts of strange things. As you're wandering about, though, you notice that, and this goes to you, Plays with Mice, that there's several halflings that are just kind of watching you. They're just watching you.
I mean, I am very attractive.
Looks like they're kind of, really just watching you. Some of them look like they might be trying to steal your key.
I would like to smile, wave, and wink at one of them.
Okay. They immediately kind of dart and try and get away from your view, but they don't do a great job of it. But you can see that they're hiding, but they are totally looking like they're hiding. Like you all last session.
I would like to grab my friends and say, we should go over and talk to the halfling.
Okay.
And then just start walking towards the halfling.
Okay. As you say that, you are probably, staring over some, beautiful lattice worked, toppings on a beautiful looking pie. And Sparkle, you're kind of just staring at this really shiny looking, just stainless steel pot. Looks like
Okay.
looks like it might fit perfectly on the crown of your head. And you kind of hear what Plays with Mice says. What do you do?
What did he say?
I said, we should go over and talk to the halflings over there. And then I started walking in that direction.
I'd follow.
I want to buy pie first, then I'll follow.
It'll cost
Okay.
you two silver,
Okay.
and you guys head over that way. And you make it there first, and he kind of looks at you, and he looks like he's looking for somewhere to run. But before he can kind of escape, you get to him.
Hello, my name is Plays with Mice. I would like to say,
Where did
although
you
you are an attractive person, you are not my type.
where did you get her key?
I quickly slip the key into my shirt, like casually, and be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Where did you get her key? She's not giving those out to anyone but us, her loyal servants.
Who is she?
I've said too much. And he kind of finally finds a way.
I hold out the book and I'm like, can you write it down while he's walking away?
He grabs the book and starts running.
I chase after him.
I take out my shield.
All right.
I'm gonna eat the pie this time.
Okay. As you're kind of running, you've got Plays with Mice kind of like You've got Sparkle kind of raising the pan over his head, like looking for an opportunity to hurl it, and then right behind them, just darting, just smashing by. You don't find you don't find a great opportunity to hurl the skillet. What with the people around, you're not. I mean, if you're showing any sign of caution, if you don't, and you're throwing caution to the wind. Let me know. Which is your.
Who would I hit if I threw it?
There's a lot of people in the area.
Okay, I wouldn't hit a lot of people, no.
Okay, it basically you're in the market district. It's like packed. Like think of any convention you've ever been to. Think
Sure.
of any like dense city area you've ever been to. It's that packed. So you guys dart after him, and you realize that he's heading into an alleyway. You're not sure if it's the same alleyway, but when you get into the alleyway, you realize that there is a very similar looking pipe at the end of the alleyway, with the bars just as the other one was. You now have a clear shot. Taking it or no?
Yeah, I'd also like to just sort of put
Cool.
this out there.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So I guess I'd get a sense that we need to go to this pipe, right?
Yeah, you'd guess at this point then, like, it appears that there's some sort of subterranean area where these urchins are moving around, and as you kind of throw that that skillet, you watch as it hits him, and you see him get hit in the back of the head and kind of just cascade forward. You were closer, Plays with Mice, so when you see the skillet hit, you actually watch as his eyes fly out of the front of his face.
Oh no!
And he just kind of flies into the ground with this loud splat, as his face and the back of his head are just like a mashed bit of halfling head.
I would like to pick up my book, and then I would like to go over and just bat one of the eyes.
Well, as you're reaching down to
that-
grab the book, you hear this as the skillet, after hitting, kind of fluttered in the air and lands on his back, and it makes kind of a cracking. It makes kind of a cracking sound, and then just lays there on his back. And you pick up your book, and then you see the eye kind of rolling around. You run over and start. You come over to the horror show, which is
Oh god!
your handiwork. And once you get there, what do you do? Andy, what does Sparkle do?
He kind of, I guess he shrugs a little bit and kind of like pretends a little bit that he didn't really do that.
Okay.
And walks into that area where he thinks it would go down.
Okay, well,
Like it wasn't me.
in the current state of affairs, the bars are down, and you're not sure how they were open the last time. And then the next part is you don't know. I mean, he's face down in the stone. You're not sure, like, you do see his eye kind of rolling around and being played with, but you're not sure if he's dead or not. If you're
Okay,
gonna,
so he would roll him over and check if he's still alive, and kind of, he's not the
Okay.
stupidest thing in the world, and he'd want to see if he could find another one of those keys.
as you do so, Kung Fu is coming around the corner, coming into the alleyway, and she's got like the pie tin, and she's kind of discarding it. She looks over and just sees this foully destroyed halfling face and head. One of the eyes are still kind of draping from its face, and its teeth are all just kind of mangled. And you just start throwing a pie, like right there on the stonework.
No.
This is fantastic, guys.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this poor little guy.
I crit the shit out of him. Like,
Ow. It's not meant to be a primary weapon.
yeah, well, 2d6 plus strength. I mean, that's a
Wow.
bit of damage for a little halfling. That said, you do see that around his neck, he is wearing a necklace, the key, the whole thing kind of just smashed with blood, but still you can see
Yeah,
the
let's grab it
shininess of it.
and grab it and walk into the area where the pipe is.
Okay. You start kind of looking around, investigating, not seeing any means of opening this weird mechanism or moving the bars.
Sparkle would say, this key opens that thing somehow.
as he kind of, did you take the key off the boy?
Yep.
As you pick up the key and start kind of wiggling around, it kind of makes a jingling sound, like if you were to jingle your keys.
So, is that strange?
No. It's not for you. Hint, hint.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I would like to go and bat the key.
No, he would hold the key in his hand and not allow that.
He, as you're kind of holding the key and kind of trying to keep it away from him, Plays with Mice is kind of like rolling around on the ground, kind of trying to get the key.
I will trade you my key for your key.
No, Sparkle likes his key. And turns to Kung Fu. Where can we put the key? Where does it go?
Climb down the hole and find out.
It's blocked. I think the key opens the hole.
Then try it.
As they're kind of talking, you kind of look over and see a shiny silver coin in the wall again.
I would like to play with a shiny coin.
Okay.
The coin is in the wall? It's inset?
Yeah, it looks like a button to you, actually. And he goes over and he starts trying to pull it out again.
Could I try to put the key into the coin?
It just looks like a button, actually, to you. It doesn't look like a coin. It looks like a silver button to you.
Can I try and push it?
Yeah, you go over and push the button, and with a shh sound, you see the bars drop into the ground.
Ah.
Sparkle will run into the area where the bars is and jump in.
Okay, you run into the bar area, and you see up ahead that there is another ladder down, just like the other chamber.
Mm-hmm. He says, "Come on!"
I will follow.
Okay. And Kung Fu? Yes? Also?
Yeah, I guess.
It's nice and dark in here.
Wait, where's the lamp? I have a lamp.
You have several lanterns, right?
Yeah.
Light the lamp, not the rat. Light the lamp, not the rat.
You pull out a lantern, light it. You're able to see. And I think the goblin already has dark vision.
Yep.
So does at the back, see.
So does the Ganassi, I think.
Oh, really? Then why the heck do we have a lamp?
Yeah, let me check. Hold on.
We had one for Tim because he was.
Ah, okay.
Oh, and also for he was a gnome, still couldn't see. But yeah, the other one, Zach didn't have a lot of dark vision either. Okay, but you guys all do. So do you want to use?
I don't want to light the lamp. We can see where we're going.
Okay, you can see that there's a ladder down. What do you do?
Climb.
Okay, you see the goblin hop onto the ladder, start making his way down, and as he kind of steps onto one of the rungs, probably like the third or fourth one down for his feet, you hear a loud pa-ting sound as the rung comes free, and the goblin goes falling about 20 or so feet.
Did he try to twist his way and fall back on his shield?
That's already been handled.
Okay.
Yeah, you do fall on your back where your shield's located, but you still take a total of 6 damage.
Ouch.
Bludgeoning as you hit the ground with a loud thud. Once there, you see that there is the ladder comes down, and behind the ladder is just a wall. So there's no passageway that way. And then the tunnelway that you're now in, it's 10 foot wide, and it only goes for a very short distance until it opens up into a larger room. In that larger room, you can hear the sounds of feet kind of moving on the stone. Sounds like maybe 2 sets, maybe 3. And as you're the stars are kind of fluttering in your eyes, you can kind of see that there are, in the dark, shadows moving towards you.
Mm-hmm. In kind of a too loud whisper, he would say, "Come on down, I need help."
I will use my rope.
You hear in response the unfurling of rope, and Kung Fu in response to that, what do you want to do?
I just want to slide down the ladder.
Okay. Yeah, you slide down the ladder.
I would like to say I do not actually attach my rope to anything. I just use my rope to climb down.
Yeah, as you kind of slide down and kind of jostle it, with your pretty tall bulky form. You hear rungs kind of fluttering out of it as you kind of shake the thing more than it's probably been shook before. A couple more rungs kind of hit the ground near where you're laying, Sparkle, and she kind of hits the stone with a thud. And then you also hear these strange voices from inside the cave going,
Do I understand these voices?
You do not, unless you
Really?
speak Draconic.
Okay. No, I don't.
All right.
I'm starting to get really mad.
Okay. You get up.
Yeah, I get up and I'm going to run towards the voices.
As you kind of move towards the voices, you see two halflings kind of move over to you and go, "Hey, what are you doing down here? She didn't say you could come in."
So I have my shield out and my battle axe out, and I push them aside. And
If you draw your weapons out like that, and they see you with weapons, they kind of drop the facade, and you see them both reach up towards their faces and pull, and they just pull their faces off, and underneath there's this long, draconic-looking snout, and these just feral little faces. And they go, and
Wait, I know these things.
It's on.
They seem to be wanting a fight. What do you want to do?
I would call back. It's on. I would attack.
Okay, you move
So
in.
I rolled a rage. I clicked rage, so that's what I'd want to do.
Don't click any of the macros. Just say that I get angry and.
Okay, I get really angry,
Okay.
and go into a rage and attack the nearest one
Okay.
as violently as possible.
You bring your battle axe into this thing's shoulder really suddenly, and watch as it kind of splinters its clothing and its scales, and just kind of sends it to the ground with a splatter. The other one kind of looks at you with a spear in hand, drawing it from seemingly nowhere, and kind of just eyes you and takes an attack. You take 3 points of damage. As you kind of
Did you account for the
tabbed? Yeah, tabbed.
Beautiful.
It kind of stabs you with the spear, and you kind of shrug it off. Too angry to care. Up behind you comes Kung Fu.
Kung Fu,
Battle axe.
Yeah.
Not having your shield out, that's fine. You want to swing it with both hands to get a bit more of effect. Okay. She comes in, kind of just brings the axe down on the creature's head and smashes its skull and just sends it spiraling off dead.
Sparkle looks a little smitten at the moment at seeing that. Oh, whoa.
All right. As you guys kind of are finishing up these two creatures, you hear as Plays with Mice kind of comes down. Once you get down there, you see 3 metal rungs that are kind of silver shining in the dim light that you can see in.
I'm not interested with rungs.
Okay. You head on after them.
I grab one of them.
I lie. I am not interested. Whoop. Okay. It's about a 1.5 feet length. Matt, you dropped.
Yeah, I know. My computer just died. Let me plug that in.
Okay.
You can keep talking.
Yeah, I know. It just looks weird. Yeah, you kill these 2 kobolds. In the room that you're in now, you see that there's a very large pit in the center of it. Looks like there's a small access way off to the side, and then it looks like there's a long hall that looks like it's blocked off with similar rungs to the rungs that block the pipe above.
Shiny button.
Doesn't appear to be a shiny button anywhere nearby.
Search the bodies.
Okay. They have keys, silver chain, tarnished silver chain with a key. They all look the same, these keys. 3 teeth, just stereotypical keys.
No keyholes anywhere to be seen.
I have a key.
Doesn't appear to be any keyholes, no. Not in your immediate area. I meant 2 teeth, not 3.
I would like to grab an extra key.
I'd like to grab a key since they have keys.
Okay, so there's a total of 4 keys. Tabaxi has 2, and everybody else has 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we're in this chamber. The chamber has a locked area, and then is there another passageway that leads somewhere else?
So there's 2 passageways. It's like a small little access way. You're not sure how far it goes on, like across the pit. The pit's just in the center of the room, so you can circumnavigate it. And then north of the pit, there is another passageway. This one's like a long hall, but kind of like 10 feet, 15 feet into the hallway, there's more of those bars, like the grates up above.
Mm-hmm. Can we tell if anyone's been down any one of the passages recently?
You're kind of looking around, trying to investigate. It looks like the most heavily trafficked would be the passageway with the grates. But from what you can tell, it looks like the 2 that just came at you came from the access way across the pit.
That's the way I go then.
Okay. You head over there, and once you arrive, you realize that it's not it doesn't lead to a passageway. It leads to kind of just a small chamber. In this chamber, like in this small little side room, you see that there is like a sewer cover on the ground. Looks like there's a bit of moss and greenery kind of growing up from it. And you notice that there is a wooden board on the back wall with a bunch of nails driven into it, like a very large plank or like a board, not like. Mm-hmm. Basically, on each of those hooks, most of those hooks, there are keys, just like the key that you have.
Right. So I guess Sparkle would absent-mindedly grab some of the moss and eat it, and as he's doing so, he would sort of check out the wall with all the keys on it, like munching on the moss.
Okay. Yeah, it tastes like just fernery, kind of just moss and greenery. There's a wall that has a bunch of keys, and that's it.
Grab the keys.
I was going to say, I would like to grab most of the keys that I can shove on my person.
I'd like to get them all beforehand.
The 2 of you start kind of grabbing at keys, looking at each other with fury, it comes to a point where it's an interesting battle, because at first it seems the speed kind of goes to Kung Fu, but as you're kind of holding keys and kind of grabbing more, you notice that your hands become lighter and lighter as the keys are being taken from your hand as well as off the board by Plays with Mice. In the end, Kung Fu, you have 2 additional keys, and Plays with Mice, you have 9 in addition to the 2 you had.
Okay.
Plays with Mice keeps them on his arms.
Okay. If you have like a thong or a strap of some sort, you can kind of just.
Oh yes, Plays with Mice will do that. Just
tie them off and kind of have them jangling on like a key ring tied to your arm.
Plays with Mice is now following his true calling of being a janitor.
Well, in that case, you notice that there's 2 dead kobolds over across the pit that should be gotten rid of. It's a bit messy. I mean, I don't know how far you're into the janitor mode, but that is a thing that is true.
Can we examine the pit? Is there anything down there that of interest?
Sure. You go over to the pit. Go ahead.
I was going to say, once you're done with the pit, do the 2 dead kobolds have any keys on them that I can pick?
We just searched the body.
That's already been done. You already took those keys. Yeah. You had one of them, and then another one went to Kung Fu. Yeah.
Okay, that's who got keys in the first place.
Should be a total of 3 for Kung Fu, 1 for Sparkle, and 11 for Plays with Mice. But when you go over and look in the pit, it's about 10 feet down, and at the bottom it seems to be just filled with this nasty-looking fluid. It looks like a greenish kind of. Well, you can't see color in dark vision. And everything's kind of dim light, so you're not sure. It just looks like some sort of liquid.
What color?
You don't know. You're seeing in dark vision.
Seeing in dark vision. I
Yeah,
understand.
dark vision's just shades of gray.
You could definitely, and it's also dimmed, so you can't see it very well. So you can't even tell like the consistency of it. It just looks like liquid.
Can I light one of the lanterns that we have and look?
Yeah, if you walk over to the bag or the one that you happen to grab, it's got oil in it, and you light it and kind of look down, and it's a greenish color. It seems to have bits and such kind of floating at the top. Most of them kind of dissolved away, and it looks like it's kind of
Is it
slow.
an acid pit?
It's kind of slowly undulating. Like it seems to be kind of something underneath might be causing it to bubble.
I'm gonna take out like a piece of cloth or something and drop it down.
Okay. The second the cloth kind of hits, this hand springs up out of the liquid, kind of like grasps at it and kind of like pulls up this head.
What?
You see this gnarly looking face kind of pulled out with like skin kind of like burned away. He's like, "Help! Help!"
A gnarly looking face with skin burned away.
Yeah, looks like it's been kind of melted or dissolved.
And
Could I
just
lower a
push
rope?
him down.
Stop. I'm gonna lower a rope down.
Okay. Yeah, he's about 10 feet down, so I mean, you could climb down there and push him down if you wanted to, but
That was Matt. I'm not gonna do
yeah.
that.
Well, I'm asking Matt if he's real, and then the rope gets descended. No real. Okay. The rope goes down, and he kind of grabs it with his hand, and you see him kind of like wrap it around his wrist, but it's like kind of digging into the flesh. And he kind of looks up at you with like just sad eyes, like he wants you to lift him up because he can't.
So I'll pull him up.
Okay, as you kind of pull him up, you see that he appears to be wearing, chain armor, which is kind of started to break in parts. Like small thatches of it kind of are falling off as he's being pulled up, and he's kind of just burnt and kind of just acid harmed.
Why didn't you yell for help?
I did yell for help.
We didn't hear you.
Then why did you pull me up? Oh, it hurts so bad. Everything hurts so bad. It's all so bad. Oh, it hurts. Oh.
What is your name?
What? You kind of asked him that question. And Kung Fu, you notice that like the tabard he's kind of got over his chain armor, like what's left of it, kind of has like an orange color. You can see what looks like one star and like half of a crescent.
Oh.
So it was a guard.
He kind of looks like a guard, yeah.
Does his name look like it might be Falcon
And then when you say,
or another bird of prey?
"What's your name?" and he kind of looks to you, he says, my name's Jim.
Oh.
Jim Dark Magic?
Never heard of him.
Jim Henson?
Also unfamiliar.
Jimi Hendrix.
You're really bad at guessing.
Jim?
You guys are really bad at guessing surnames. And then he says, Jimmy Jim, and he's like, yeah, of the East Jimmy Jims.
So Jimmy John.
Who the hell's Jimmy John? I'm
Really?
Jimmy Jim
This is Jimmy Jim.
of the East Side Jimmy Jims.
So Jimmy Sprinkles?
Wait,
You do not get this that well, do you?
Jimmy Jim.
I look over at Spark, I'm like, she's not the brightest of... Don't worry.
Did you get those halflings? Did you get them?
They weren't halflings.
He looks
No, they
over.
weren't.
He looks over and he sees it. He goes, "Oh my god,
Oh,
kobolds!"
also, I would like to start dragging... I was going to say, I would want to start dragging the dragon snout things over and just chucking them into the acid.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do that earlier.
As you toss
Sparkle would go ahead.
them in, he kind of goes, "Kobolds? What are kobolds doing here? Oh, it's so crazy.
Who is she? Who is she?
I don't know. What do you?
Was
What?
she controlling them?
Kobolds usually
Why are
serve.
you controlling?
Kobolds usually serve dragons. Maybe they're talking about a dragon."
Uh-oh.
Huh. I wonder what the dragon tastes like. Let's go find out.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks,
And
guys.
push him back in. Okay.
As he's kind of walking away, and because he's never gonna be important again, he kind of just falls apart.
Aww.
Aw.
Poor guy.
Jim, Jim, Jim.
Jimmy, Jimmy, Jim, Jim. Jimmy, Jimmy, Jim, Jim. Of the Jimmy Jim Jims, the east side Jimmy Jim Jims.
Because it'll be
Yes, 'cause
bad from the
ones
west
are just
side.
Bastards.
Yeah, they are. They're
That's
just,
right, they eat left Twix.
of course. All right, what do you guys do?
Well, first of all, push the bones back into the pit to destroy all the evidence, and then
Deal.
I guess be on our way to figure out where this goes.
There's a more grate. When you get over to it, you guys see it for what it is. It's 5 bars that have been kind of placed in your way. To you, they look like they're widely separated apart, Sparkle. To the others, it doesn't look like you're going to make your way through those bars.
I would like to look for another coin.
But for a kobold, there is no coin. For kobolds and creatures like that, it seems like they could fit through the bars no problem.
So can I squeeze through?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
make your way
Look for
through.
Queen on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It looks like the hallway goes down for a little while, but it looks like it ends at kind of like a right angle. So it looks like it kind of turns off to the side.
Any coin slot things to push in?
When you go on over down the way, you find that there is a keyhole set in the wall at about human waist level, where a keyhole would be.
Yeah, I'm going to take my one and only key and put it in and turn it.
Okay. When you do, the key disappears, and the grate behind you kind of opens up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like my key replaced there. Runs with mice.
I
Hello?
don't know who you are talking to. My name
Who
is
are-
Mice.
Who are you? Plays with mice? Mice plays?
The passageway seems to be free to you. Like
I
I said,
don't have any extra keys.
like I said, the hallway kind of takes a sharp right turn, and then it looks like down the hallway a little past that knuckle, it goes downstairs.
Hmm.
You should give me another key in case I need to squeeze through another grate.
So you conspicuously hide the keys. I have no more keys.
He turns to Kung Fu and asks for a key.
Okay, I'll share a key. I mean, you did bring me pie.
That's right.
Okay. You guys make your way down the way there. Once you get down to the bottom of the steps, it looks like it opens up into a large room. The room kind of has a domed ceiling, like you're in a large half pipe that goes, north a ways. All throughout the room, you can see that there are these stone boxes just set about the room. They basically look like sarcophagi, but they're not large enough or long enough rather to fit like a body or anything. They just look like stone boxes with stone lids set about the room. On the far side of the room, some 60 feet away, just within your dim light and now within your light from your lantern, it looks like there's a raised step, and at the head of the step there seems to be kind of like a podium, basically where one would give a speech or something. There are 2 doors besides the one you entered in the room. One close to where you entered in, and one close to the pedestal or the podium up in the far end. Besides that, you guys are all alone.
I wanted to try and open one of the stone boxes.
Okay. You walk over to the stone box and start kind of finagling at it. As you do so, you start hearing this whistling sound coming from the north area near the podium.
I would like to hide because the whistling sound it is frightening me.
Okay. Also, near the boxes, you see that there's a bunch of just kind of strange stains and liquid on the ground. It looks like someone kind of spilled a lot of things. Smells like possibly foodstuffs that have been left here for a while. And as you continue to prise open the stone box, you get it open, and inside is just like a mess of food goods that have been kind of left in there. They smell. Huh?
Anything salvageable?
It smells pretty terrible, but not like, it doesn't smell like rotted. It just smells like a lot of just gross foods. But sitting on the top, you see a pie tin that seems to be kind of, facing up. So like the pie appears to be face down.
So pick up pie?
Do you reach in and grab it?
Sure.
Okay. You pull it up, and the pie seems to be perfectly intact. It looks like it's been dropped in there. It's kind of smashed into its tin a bit, but other than that, it seems to be perfectly fine. It smells like some sort
of... Hey guys, I got pie!
It smells like some sort of meat pie. As you're distracted by it, the whistling gets closer, and you hear a door open. Schwarkle, or what are you doing at this point?
I would go towards the door that's opening.
Okay. As you kind of get to it and the door opens, you see a kobold open the door. He's wearing a one-piece kind of uniform. And in one hand, he has a bucket. And in the other hand, he has a mop. And he kind of looks at you and stops whistling. Oh.
You need to clean up in there. It's dirty. And I point to where the kobolds would be.
Okay. What are
I'm gonna lead him towards the pit.
Oh, the pit's in the other chamber.
Crap.
Yeah, the other chamber. He kind of walks like backwards on his heel, like kind of backs up a bit.
I would like to throw a dagger at him.
I was gonna try to push him into the pit. Okay.
The pit's in the other room, though. As you're kind of like standing there looking at him, you hear this dagger whoop past you and hit the kobold. And the kobold kind of backs away and then just and falls to the ground.
Oh, crap.
All right,
Plays with mice.
You have a dead kobold.
Do you want your dagger?
I would like to get my dagger back.
Come and get it.
Has stopped.
So what else is behind that door that opened?
Yeah, it looks like it leads into a hall that continues on for a bit. And then it seems to have stairs that descend down.
This looks like the way to go.
Okay. You guys are murdering all my NPCs.
It's so easy, though.
I mean, yeah. Murder hobo mode engaged. I was gonna murder him just in a different way. So fair.
Whistling, it was frightening me.
You drag the dead kobold janitor back into the chamber that you're in, Do you head down, or do you check the other door in this room?
Whatever. What do you want to do, folks?
Does the janitor person on his body have another key?
He has a ring of keys.
Oh my god.
I will take the ring of keys.
It appears to be a total of 5 keys. They all look the same.
Plays with mice. I will trade you 1 key for 2.
But the keys are shiny.
But this one's the shiniest.
Okay, I will make this trade with you. John, for the trade though, I would like to have it look like I have 2 keys in my hand, take her key, and then pretend to give her that, but instead give her the rung from the ladder that I got.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm smarter than that.
She doesn't notice that she has a rung in her hand until well after the trade has been completed, and she's kind of looking. She kind of holds it and is kind of looking at you like acknowledgingly, and then she looks down at her hand and she realizes she has a rung and a key in her hand.
And I will start heading down the stairs.
Okay. No,
Okay. Plays with mice. I'm going to get you.
Okay. He starts heading down the stairs without you guys.
I'll follow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow because we get my key
You're
back.
gonna push him.
Right.
Push him down the stairs and get the key.
You
Right.
get to the base of the stairs, and there's another door. The door appears to be closed, and there does appear to be a key hole on the on the door.
How should we open that door? Plays with mice. You have like 20 keys, by the way. But Sparkle isn't saying that. He just says, "How do you think we should open that door?"
I start batting at the keyhole. No, I
Yeah.
actually take out one of the keys and
Okay. As you do so, you put the key in, turn it, and it disappears, and the door becomes open.
I need a key to replace that key.
Do you enter in, or do you just kind of sit there for a second? Okay. You open the door, and just at your feet, there's something. You notice it looks like a skull, just kind of laying on the floor. There appears to be stains all over the floor as well, kind of acidy, kind of colored stains like the stuff that was in the pit before. Inside this room, you notice that around the pit in the center of this chamber, there are 4 stone boxes, just like in the last chamber. And it looks like on the far wall, the ceiling, let me cut back. The ceiling in this room is about 20 feet high. And it looks like the far wall, there's a 10-foot raised section with a balcony at it. And inside this 10-foot raised section, there's a pair of double doors kind of in the middle of the room that seem to lead out of this chamber. As you kind of get to that point, you see that there are kobolds up on the balcony, kind of sitting there. But as you kind of open the door with the sound, they all kind of jump up and kind of look over in your direction. Who's that? They say in common.
I would like to hide.
Okay. You kind of stand there in the doorway for a couple of seconds, kind of, and then did anybody go down there with him or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we both followed.
He kind of tries to dart past you, but at that point you start hearing the barking coos of the kobolds in response. What would you like to do, Sparkle?
What do I see when I enter the room?
You enter into the room. There's a skull at your feet. There's 4 stone sarcophagi that are kind of circling around a pit in the center of the room, similar to the last one. However, this one seems its contents have kind of spilled out onto the floor around it.
Mm-hmm.
Across the way, probably some 50 or so feet, or 30 or so feet, there's a stone wall that's 10 feet high, like a balcony, and then the ceiling of this room is about 20 feet high. And it looks like there's kobolds up on that balcony.
How many?
5.
5. Okay. Do I see Plays with Mice?
He ran past. He's in the hallway that you just exit.
I
You ran out of the way?
hide somewhere.
Yeah, he ran out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so does that mean you don't want to fight them?
Oh no, I'm perfectly fine fighting them. I just panicked for a second when I saw them and went to hide because that's what.
Is there
she
a
does.
way to move to the edge of the room, underneath the balcony where it's out of the view of them?
You'd have to dash to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Sparkle starts rushing off. What would you like to do? Fun kung fu.
I guess pull out my shield and then rush out.
Okay. Are you dashing as well?
Sure.
Okay. You both get to the area and kind of are down below them, and you see that they're kind of looking over the balcony down at you as you kind of hit to the wall. Once you get to that point, you see them kind of look down at you with kind of these weird, draconic grins, and you hear chains kind of rattling. and they just kind of stand over you, and they appear to have these skulls that are connected to chains, and they just drop them down. All right. One of them kind of like drops and hits the hits its top point near you, Sparkle. And as you see it hit, you realize like, oh, this is going to snap, and you kind of move aside as the skull head goes swinging off towards the middle of the room on the chain. Kung Fu, watching that happen, you don't notice the same thing happen near you and kind of slam into your chest. It knocks you closer towards the center of the room. In fact, it knocks you against one of the 4 boxes so hard that the box starts to slip and slide towards the center of the room and into the pit. It falls. The top of it falls off with a loud clang, and it just starts kind of bubbling at the bottom. Okay. What are you doing, Matt?
Well, after my momentary freak out, I would like to head back and... heck, I'll throw a dagger at one of the kobolds.
Okay.
I
So
can reach one of them.
decent distance away from where you're at if you're not moving deep into the room. So you'll make that attack like so, but you were hidden. Okay. And you guys see a dagger flutter across the room, slam into one of the kobolds that just dropped the chains, hit him square in the neck, and he comes falling off the balcony, slamming into the stone near you, Sparkle. Right where she was standing, Kung Fu was standing. Okay.
And then also, I would like to hide again.
Okay. You snap
If
back
there's
behind the
nowhere to
corner.
hide.
Yeah, well, you snap back behind into the you haven't exited out. Just stay pocketed away inside the stairway.
Sorry, sweetie.
The kobolds are all kind of looking in that direction, like confused, and their former faces of like smiling and happiness kind of fall away. Sparkle, you're about 10 feet below them, completely like smooth surface, and then there's a pair of double doors about 10 feet away from you. What would you like to do?
So wait, there's a pair of double doors 10 feet away,
Yeah.
and Kung Fu is where in the room?
About 10 feet away from you, smashed towards the center of the room. She's about 5 feet away from falling into that pit.
Yeah, I'd want to like move around and try to grab her and pull her away from the pit.
Okay. You run over and you kind of like get close to her. You slip on your feet and go sliding towards her and hit her.
What? No!
And she
You know I was gonna die today.
she managed to grab a hold of your legs as you're sliding into her, and you kind of like get enough weight on the stone. She's holding onto your leg, dangling into the pit, and you are basically just like mounted on the stone above her. She has your leg as she
What a mess.
holding herself in the stone. The Tabaxi's kind of peeking out the door there, and the kobolds who are like suddenly taken aback and were frightened are now like laughing at the fact that they've fallen into such shenanigans. You are hanging below Sparkle, Kung Fu. Just beneath you, there's a stone box that's slowly being, destroyed in the acid, but it looks like it's currently strong enough and on its side so that if you wanted to, you could drop down and land on it. But yeah, that's your current situation. What would you like to do?
I guess drop down on the box.
Okay. And once there, you're about 10 feet now from the surface to get out of the pit. It's pretty much a free action to just drop down. It's fine.
Do I have a rope? I don't remember.
Yeah, sure. It's in an explorer's kit. Yeah, you pull out rope. That's your action. You got a rope in your hand.
Yeah, and then I guess. Can I tie it to the axe and throw the axe up?
Yeah. Let's see. I'll say that you can tie it off this turn.
Okay.
And it looks like it's a pretty solid, tying. You think that if you throw it maybe towards one of the stone boxes and catch it, and aren't power sliding into one of those stone boxes, it won't go careening and sliding into the thing. Or
Okay.
worst case scenario is you pull it down there with you and start building a staircase of stone boxes.
Okay.
Yep. All right, the kobolds will go. The situation as it stands, they kind of focus in on what's going on. You see them kind of like pulling at chains, and those skulls start kind of moving off of the ground where they kind of stop, or off of ground level where they stopped above the pit, and kind of just start kind of escalating towards to where they're at, and they kind of get a hold of them this turn as if they're ready to throw them back in at you. But they don't throw them this turn. They'll throw them next turn. All right. It goes plays with mice.
I would like to throw another dagger at one of them.
Okay.
And that would be all the daggers I currently have on me, I think. I only have 2.
Oh shit. All right. Your dagger goes flying into this kobold's face. When it hits, it just blows the kobold's head off clean. And the dagger goes continuing on and stabs into the stone wall behind it and goes boing. The kobold's head's completely obliterated. The other kobolds are just like, the 3 that remain are kind of looking in that direction like, ah! And start freaking out.
I've got a question. If I take my bonus action to dash, could I climb up to where one of the kobolds is?
Speed 30. Let's see.
Yeah, I think it's 30.
Yeah. Yeah, just barely able to climb up. You wouldn't be able to surface at this point, but you'd be attached to the wall underneath them.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. Yeah, you as you lay there, devoid of the weight of Kung Fu, Sparkle, you see the Tabaxi kind of like explode one of the kobold's head with a flying dagger that's thrown perfectly, and then like a dart just whoosh across the room and starts kind of climbing up like a cat up a telephone pole along the wall. What would you like?
Actually, could I have used my... Sorry, could I have used my cat's agility thing to actually, like...
Get up there? Yeah.
Yeah, get up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one kobold on the side that you're on. Once you get up to the top, what you realize is the balcony is actually split in the middle. So where the doors are on the wall of the balcony, there's like a split. The balcony that you're on, there's a staircase down to a passageway that the doors kind of open up to. And on the other side, it's the exact same stairway up. And once you get up there, you see the kobold that you're with, but you also see that down in the hallway, there appears to be a chain, and you can hear and see the basic idea of a very large beast that seems to be kind of grunting on the other side of the door, but it looks like it's chained down to the stone. All right. Sparkle, you see the cat. He's up at the top now with his one kobold, engaged with it. What would you, and you're prone. So what would you like to do?
So where exactly am I in relation to the pit?
You are literally on the pit. Like your foot was hanging over the edge of it.
So I'm like be super careful and get up and back away from the pit. Yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe not even stand up all the way, move away and then stand up.
All right. You managed to keep your footing because you're kind of crawling instead of walking, and then you kind of get up away from the pit. That's all your movement, though.
Hey.
Do I see any one of the kobolds within range with my hand axe?
No, they kind of are backed away from the balcony ledge.
Okay.
Yep. There's a double
That's
door.
Yeah, but I used all my movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just gonna stay put.
Okay.
Or maybe I could use the. Is there a place to hide?
No. You're against at that point you're against the wall again.
Okay.
So, okay. Kung Fu, you're down there. The weight added onto it of you standing on top of the box has caused it to kind of like the top layer that you're on has kind of come down. A little bit of acid is coming around the edges. What would you like to do?
Throw the axe like it's a grappling hook.
Okay. You throw it up to kind of catch onto one of the boxes. It does. Do you want to go north towards the kobolds or south away from the kobolds?
North towards.
Okay.
That's the spirit.
So a little bit more of an effort, but once you kind of get it up there, you kind of swing out, kind of climb up the stone wall, and you make your way up. The axe throw and the movement was your action. You're now standing kind of adjacent to the pit, but adjacent to the stone box you crawled up onto.
Yeah.
Okay. Goes to the kobolds. The kobold adjacent to you freaks. He's going to try and just move away from you.
Okay.
Are you going to react? Do you want to react in any way or let him go?
I mean, I don't have my. Or,
Weapon.
you know, I can claw.
Yeah. Okay. You kind of reach out to him. You see the key kind of dangling from his neck, and you kind of grab at it and kind of cut his throat out with your claws. He kind of falls to the ground.
Wow. Weird. Destroying them.
The other kobolds on the other side move over to something, and then you see one of them grab the chain and pull a pinion out, and cause the chain to come free. The second he does, you see this huge maw kind of snap out and grab the kobold and just bite down on him and kind of and wrangle him. It's a bigger dragon head, from what you can tell. All right. You'd also at this point be able to realize too, the double door appears to be locked with a bar. There's a bar that's crossed over the double door. The other kobold on the other side will. He's gonna hurl the skull, and I'm gonna hurl it at Kunfu. All right, it'll miss. But you've seen this happen before. In fact, up close and personal, and the skull head comes moving past you.
Okay.
Now that it kind of dangles not too far from where you're at, you can see that it's a skull, but it appears to have been filled out with lead, and the skull on the outside is kind of cracked but set into the lead itself. So it's not breaking off of it. It's actually kind of set in the lead ball.
Pull it down.
All right. The chain is there if you want to do that on your turn. Some shenanigans of that regard. Okay, it goes back to the tabaxi.
So the guy that I was next to is dead now, and
Yep.
there's a large thing in the room.
Well, it's in the hallway down below. You have to take the steps down to get to it. And then there's basically a set of steps that come down like this, hallway, and then steps that go up to the other balcony side. And on the other balcony side, there's one kobold remaining, and he's the one who just threw the skull head towards your friends, you presume.
Would there be a chance that I could jump from the balcony I'm on to the balcony that the kobold is on?
Yeah, it's a 10-foot jump, no problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Yeah, you move and kind of get a little bit of a running start, hop over to the other side, land. You're adjacent to him.
Short sword and step.
Okay. No. What you failed in stealth checks last session, you've more than accomplished in attack rolls in this session. You kind of get to him and just stab him with the short sword. He kind of looks at you like, ah, and falls to the ground.
Okay.
All right, so the only thing remaining that appears to be hostile towards you is that big thing. When you look down on it, it's basically like a large mastiff-sized creature, but it appears to be like a reptile. Basically, it's like a lizard lion or drake. You're not sure what.
There's a big dog zerd up here.
Okay. You would also notice that the double door that is in front of it appears to have like a bar kind of shutting it down and stopping it from being opened on the other side where your friends are. Speaking of your friends, it's your up, Sparkle.
Sparkle. So I would want to take as much movement as possible to get close to plays with mice.
Okay. He is up on a balcony above on the right side, and you're not sure you can get up the balcony because it's soft, or it's like really smooth stone. He got up because he's a tabaxi and they can climb good.
And instead there's double doors in front of me?
Correct.
And you said previously that those doors seem to be locked?
You're not sure from your side, no.
Okay, so I'd approach the double doors then, maybe thinking there's another way up.
Okay, if you just try the doors, they are closed and they are locked. There appears to be barred on the other side. Once you do that, what would you like to do?
There appears to be what on the other side?
A bar on the other side.
Okay. Any button to push or keyhole?
No.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Okay. Um, uh,
Why not?
plays with
Hello?
my.
Hello?
You kind of hear this knock on the other side of the door. The second it happens, you see that the Drake was kind of turning its attention towards you, and then it kind of looks at the door like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Okay.
I don't know why I made him sound. Anyway, I don't.
That worked.
Drake. I don't know. These are bad jokes. Then
It's okay, we get it. There's a rapper trapped here that we're.
we're trying to save him. It goes. It goes to you, Kung Fu. The double door's there. You see Sparkle just kindly
Leave the rap.
knocking on the door. You're not sure what's on the other side of the door.
I want to take a suggestion and pull on the skull thing.
Okay. The second you do and kind of like grab a hold of it, it starts to lift up. Do you want to hold on to it or let it go?
Yes, I want to hold on. Maybe I can jump on.
Okay, it seems to start raising you towards the balcony.
Ah, can I jump on the balcony?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Is this? Did I miss something? There's still one of these cobalt things
No.
alive, right? No. Okay. All right. I thought he died.
Yeah, so you kind of hop onto the balcony. No movement left, and you can see that there is a large, mastiff-sized reptile creature. Basically, imagine a big dog and an alligator had a baby.
Okay.
And there's Tabaxi. He would be landing on the same. You'd be landing on the same platform that he is on.
Okay.
Okay. It goes to it. It's gonna just smash through the door. And once it gets to the other side, it sees a goblin. So the door just kind of blasts open. And,
Even if it goes through were there bars on the door?
oh yeah, it goes through.
Goes through. Okay, cool.
But yeah, let's see here. When it takes the door, you're kind of standing there knocking, and the door hits you, and you kind of go scattering off to the side. So when it busts out, it starts looking around.
It doesn't see me?
It doesn't see you.
That's awesome. That's so great.
He's right there.
Shut up, you.
It gains advantage on its check.
Hands over mouth.
It gains advantage on its check. It looks over in that direction that it was pointed to. Doesn't still seem to see you. It says, "What are you talking about, man?" All right. Next up is proud of this. Tabaxi.
You know what? Screw it. I'm going to take out my other short sword and run up and just like.
Damn, son. How do you want to do this?
I literally just want to do that flying thing, jump down and slice it through the neck so its head just pops off and lands on Sparkle.
Okay.
Oh.
It was looking in that direction. Basically, you hit it with the short swords and then pull to the sides, and it sends the head flying towards him. And you're kind of like now on top of this big old, leather purse filled with blood and guts, and the head goes like sliding next to Sparkle.
Nice.
Good times. All right.
Does it have any shiny things on it?
It doesn't.
Damn it. I would like to get my daggers back.
About a second or so later, after you kind of like are done with it, it just starts shooting blood out of its neck stump all over Sparkle.
Oh.
It's like just pointed directly at him. Just.
That's so mean.
It's actually caught. The spray is shooting out at enough pace that it's actually pushing the body away from Sparkle and towards the pit. You kind of hop off, and it kind of flies into it by itself. And you go find your daggers. Well, arguable.
I feel like that's DM convenience for disposing of the body.
Some might say it made more of a mess on its way in. You are coated from head to toe in lizard blood.
Oh.
Yeah,
Right.
what's up?
Okay, so like there are two or three dead cobalt up on the balcony.
There's actually 5.
Oh, 5? Can I loot them for keys?
Sure, they each have 1.
Yes.
Yeah. And you've got 5 more keys. Okay.
Yeah, you can take the rest of these keys. I'm done with them. And I
Okay.
just chuck her like however many keys
10.
I have.
10 more. 10 more.
So now I have 16 keys.
Okay.
Do you also have
Okay.
16 candles?
Unfortunately, I'm one shy.
Touche. The passageway seems to kind of wind past where the creature was kind of chained up, and looks like it goes on deeper into the hole.
Shall we?
Dance? Okay.
Well, you know what they say. When in Rome. I don't know the rest of that saying.
Fair.
You guys are Romans too?
You make your way past that, and you come to a point where the passageway kind of ends, and there's this kind of stonework balcony out over like a large expanse of darkness. But you can see just near you there seems to be kind of like an access service ladder that's kind of built into the stone. It seems to descend down into this dark, kind of open, large, wide shaft.
So should we progress?
What's that?
Should we move forward or?
Probably. I have this feeling that some sort of bearded deity is propelling us forward.
You guys don't have to go down. It's fine. Jeez.
I guess we're going down.
We're going down, down.
Okay. As you guys descend down, lantern in hand, kind of making your way down, you finally come down to the bottom of this place, and it's just kind of cold. Like, there's just a lot of cold here. And you get to a point where you kind of see that in the center of this shaft chamber at the bottom, there's kind of this pool of ice kind of in the center. And it's definitely gotten a lot colder as you've descended. But in the center of that pool, that flat sheet of ice, there's this large silver mass. And on closer inspection, it looks like a big bowl or ball of silver or something that's set atop a big pile of keys, just like the ones you have.
So go and gather keys.
You'd say that there's probably dozens or hundreds, if not thousands, of keys in this pile.
Boy.
I would like to start taking some of these keys because they are new and shiny.
As you kind of walk over, the thing you presumed was a big silver ball on top kind of like unfurls. Its head kind of snaps up at you, and you can see that it's some sort of lizard-like creature. As it kind of unfurls, you also notice that it has wings, and it kind of snaps open to you and looks to you.
Dragon.
What are you doing?
Taking your
As I am shoving keys in my pocket, I am doing nothing.
It kind of reaches out towards you with its hand. What do you do in regards to that? Keep getting keys, or?
I'm going to keep getting keys.
All right. She grabs you, kind of stopping you from collecting keys. She let's see. She's not much bigger than you, but with both of her forward claws, she kind of lifts you up, side down, and starts shaking you, and keys start kind of falling out of your pockets and off of your person, and also all of your, treasures and stuff, your book and everything, kind of falls into the pile beneath her. Once she's done with you, she kind of just turns you back onto your feet and sets you down. she reaches forward and kind of grabs you again and kind of shakes you while you still have it in your hands, and you kind of just drop stuff. And she kind of looks at you. What have you done to get here? She says as she kind of looks at the goblin who's covered in dragon blood.
We have all the keys. Oh, he has all the keys, and then points towards Matt's character.
And he says, I don't have all the keys. She has all the keys.
Crap.
And she
Still points towards plays with mice.
with these key rings.
I place the light is pointing towards Kung Fu.
Kung Fu's like holding all these keys like, uh-oh.
Quick, point to the goblin. Point to the goblin.
No, I want to point back to the cat.
There you go. He goes down.
The creature kind of scratches its head and looks at you and says, Did you kill them? Did you kill the kobolds?
Well, yeah.
No, we did not
Goblin
kill
is like
anything.
rubbing the blood.
We killed nothing. Ignore the bloody goblin.
Well,
That's right. It's sort of a condition he has. He sort of just spontaneously starts bleeding.
I do not doubt they deserved it. I do not know where they came across some of the trinkets that they've given me, but I've told them to return them. So who are you?
I am placed with mice. And I bow, and as I bow, I start scooping out keys.
As you bow and start scooping up keys, like you kind of try to do it, with your regular amount of stealth, and it appears to, take hold. It is very obvious that you're grabbing a bunch of keys and shoving them into your. She kind of stops you, and lifts you upside down again, and gives you a good shake, sets you back on your feet. And what about you? Why are you here? Why have you come down here? Why have you killed the kobolds? Did they cause problems up above?
Well, it sort of started as an accident. We were just falling.
I accidentally murdered a bunch of kobolds.
We were looking for some pie.
Lazy Mice was looking for a book. Basically, they pickpocketed the wrong guy.
They were stealing.
Yeah.
That is not good. So
Yes, stealing is terrible, as I try to show them.
she just places her hand over the pile of keys. Stop it. Like as you start to reach, just shh. Stealing is not okay, she says. You also realize that your coins and your stuff and your book are also in the pile. Because she's basically shaking you free of all your things. Your swords, everything is in the pile.
On that note, can't return his stuff.
She kind of flicks them off of her pile. So they keep gathering to me, these kobolds. They just keep coming along. I don't mean for them to, and I don't enjoy it, but they see me as a goddess, and I am not okay with their gifts unless they are gained by unscrupulous means. You say they were stealing? Then they deserved what they got. Please, make your way out of here. And, please, just let any kobolds who come to this place try and live a good life. I will do better to teach them.
What is your name?
My name is... Hold on.
Jimmy Jim Jim Jim?
She says, my name is... Hold on. And she kind of, just
Thinks of one.
starts kind of...
She's of the she's of the West Jimmy Jim.
No, she's just like shuffling around in the keys, yeah? And she kind of looks up to you. She says, My name is...
Drake.
Drake. my name is Cardi.
Cardi,
Already.
Yes.
you're the queen of cards.
No.
I feel like we've met this person. Like, this is we're meeting them again. Like, it's Cardigan.
I can't. She kills herself. No.
I take her keys.
She says you should be on your way. And as she's kind of setting back into her pile, you can see that just behind her there's a door.
I have one question for you, Lady Cardi. Why with all the keys?
I am trying to enter into that passageway. So far I have not been able to.
Well, the keys keep disappearing, of course.
It's not that. That's just the way of keys in this world. When you use a key, the key has been used. But a key can open just about any door. Unless the key hole can only receive a master key.
So you're looking for the master key?
No. That requires a key. But beyond that door is another door which requires a key. And beyond that door is another door which requires a key. And so far I have not amassed enough keys to get through it. So I'm trying.
I'm getting bored. I leave.
I'm trying to find enough keys to be able to do it.
How many keys are we talking here?
I don't know. But I have 9,876. And she kind of looks around. And with the
75.
16 that you have on you, 75. 900, 875. She would say the correct number.
So you are the key master?
I am not.
Who is the gatekeeper?
Damn it, Andy! I was thinking.
It
Azul.
wasn't really a dog. It was a lizard creature. Anyway, she says, "I have not. In my attempts, I have not amassed enough keys to open all of the doors that are beyond. I am now trying to just fill this entire chamber with keys, and then I will move through the doors."
Okay.
Can I knock on the door?
Yeah.
Yeah, have you tried that?
It sounds like a wooden door. Nothing happens.
Can I take out my thieves' tools and pick the lock?
Yeah. You pick the lock. It opens, and there's
Whoa.
another door on the other side. She kind of looks to you with just absolute wonder.
How many keys?
Just on the other side, she said 9,870.
Sparkle shakes his head.
I walk over to the large pile of keys and I pick up one key and be like, "Thank you," and walk away.
She doesn't seem to be. She seems to be more in awe by the fact that you could open a door without a key.
So open the second door.
You take the key. You have the key.
You want me to open the next door? Fine, I go and I'll just start going for a little while on the locks, just because, I don't know, until I get bored, which is like 2 minutes from now.
Okay, so with your skill, you're able to make short work of the 10 doors that are present. At the end of the last door, you open it up, and inside is a round chamber. The walls are circular, rather, and in the center of it, just sitting on a pedestal, is a key. but this key is not like the key that you've received. It's a bigger key with like a just kind of like a horn shape at the top of it. Just a big, massive key.
Maybe like a master key?
Like a master key.
Has anyone yet noticed this master key besides me?
You're the only one in there. Okay. When you come out, she kind of says to you, "My first attempt, I only had 1 key. My second attempt, I had 3, and my last attempt, I had 7. I assumed it went on forever, so I gathered as many keys as I could. All of these keys. How many doors were there?"
He takes off his shoe and starts.
The tail kind of flutters in as well.
Many.
It says, "You are truly powerful with your gifts. I wish I had them myself. What was within?"
Nothing?
She says, "Then it is as I thought. A fool's errand. Leave this place."
And as I walk away, I get bored with a giant key there and I just behind me.
It hits the pile, and she kind of she's already gotten bored herself and is falling asleep. But there it sits in the pile of keys as you guys exit out of the place. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Go ahead and set yourself to level 4, and when we play this game again, we will do some fun random shenanigans. All right. Kill that stream.
Woohoo!